Welcome to my channel, and in this video I have my Toyota 79 Series LandCruiser behind me, and I plan on giving you guys a bit of a tour of my dream tourer. Now this was a highly requested video, and my only guess is because a few of you guys have 79s on order and haven't had the chance to drive one, to sit in one, or even see one. So in this video I plan on answering a few questions that you guys have had, and also give you a rundown and let you know what my plans are with this vehicle. So I was planning on making this video about a month after picking it up, but I just got so busy, and in the meantime I've clocked about 7,000 Ks. It's been my daily driver. I've done 2 trips in it, done a bit of towing, and yeah, the buzz of owning a brand new car is well and truly over. So in a nutshell, this is my 2022 Toyota LandCruiser 79 Series in the classic sandy top color. It was either going to be this color or the Merlot red, and I'm so glad I chose this color. So yeah, let's start at the front. Just like every other 79 Series, the go-to bull bar is this ARB Big Tube, and I've got this powder coated in the matte black. So I've got 2 antennas. This one is a 1.2 meter, 6.6 decibel GME antenna, and it runs into the cabin to an XRS 330C. And this one is a new addition. This is an RFI 6.5 decibel 5G antenna, and it runs into the cab to a Netgear M6 Nighthawk modem. It's a bit of an experiment, and so far the results are really promising. If you guys are interested, I really wanted to make another video for that. If you guys are interested, so let me know. Both on GME fold down brackets. I usually need these to get into like a 2.2 meter car park. I know it's hilarious, but it also means I can still pick up my son from school. Yeah, generally I do have the 5G one up because I'm always using internet in the car. No winch at the moment. I plan on getting the Runvar 13XP. I've always had the King's Dominator winch, and it's never failed me. So the number plate Matata, I've been asked this so many times. No, my name is not Matt. I love Lion King, and I also like to name my cars. So I call this car Simba just because, you know, the taupe and the black. And yeah, the plate is kind of a tribute to Hakuna Matata and that phrase from Lion King. So yeah, it's a bit of a different one. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it because everyone seems to call me Matt. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So onto wheels and tyres. Nothing new here. I've got the ROH hammers in the 17x9 neg 12s. Neg 12s on the front and negative 59s on the rear for that offset correction. And they're all wrapped in these Maxxis razors. The tyre size is 305 70/17, so the equivalent of a 34-inch tyre. Just a quick review on the razors. I do rate them, and so far they've been pretty good. They're definitely quieter than my KM2s, and the off-road performance seems about the same. I can't really tell, to be honest. The only issue I've had is the tyre balancing, and I've had 2 tyre shops try to balance them, but the rears for some reason they just won't balance. I'm not sure if it's an issue with the offset correction, but Maxxis Australia, I've been in contact with them, and they will be sorting something out. So onto the suspension. It has the ARB 3.95 ton GVM upgrade with the OME BP51 shockies. They're an internal bypass remote reservoir shock, all done before first registration for that federal compliance across Australia. Upgraded springs in the front, and also 500 kilo constants in the rear, which is it's a bit heavy considering I've only got a tray on there at the moment. They are rebound and compression adjustable, but the boys at ARB Thornley, they sorted it out. And to be honest, it hasn't even crossed my mind that it needs adjusting. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think they're very comfortable on road, which surprises me, and it articulates really well off-road, which is important. Yes, the rear is sprung a bit firmer than I want, but I'm getting a canopy, and that will fix it soon. So onto the cab. We'll start with the Pioneer platform. This is the Rhino Rack Pioneer, and it comes with either the gutter mount legs, which I have, or the backbone. But I want the option to be able to clean underneath the rack, so I went for the gutter mount option with the 110mm legs and a 10mm spacer. Yeah, I think the 150mm legs make it look too much like it's wearing a hat, so that's why I went for the 110. I've also mounted a solar panel on the roof. So I've got my 120 watt narrow solar panel mounted here permanently. When I go away, I have my bushwhacker awning here, I've got my tent here, all my swag, and just a rod tube on the driver's side. So OCAM weather shields, and if you're wondering, yes, they fit really well. And I've also got the windows tinted darkest legal at the front and 10% at the rears. I 100% recommend the tinting because, you know, these cabs are not insulated. Combined with the roof rack for shade and the weather shields for ventilation, it makes a huge difference with the warmer climates. So yeah, let's jump in the cab and have a look. So yeah, as you can tell, I've left pretty much everything quite standard in here. I don't think anything really needs to change. I find the seats really comfortable. I mean, 9 hours back from Brisbane and I had no issues. I think perhaps it's the ergonomics of the dash. You know, the dash, the seat, the wheel, it really makes you sit upright. And to be honest, with lower back pain, a lot of the times it's about how you're sitting. And you know, I have no issues with this setup. So we'll start off with the most obvious thing, the head unit. So this 2022 model came with the upgraded double din head unit. It does everything you need, but if you like your audio, there's a bit of a 2-second delay. I'm not sure why, between the audio on your phone and what's being output by the head unit. So about a month ago, I went and swapped it out for this Joying 10.1 head unit. This model is the newer 1200p display. It's an IPS screen, and it's got 6 gigs of data and 128 gigs of storage. So I kind of use this like a computer, and to be honest, I really did need this. You know, I look at all my patient files, I'll go to watch YouTube, I've got Waze, I've got Google Maps, I can set myself to go home pretty quickly. It is lightning quick. It is a Chinese manufacturer and, you know, they have a bad rap. And contrary to what you guys think, their customer service is excellent. Always a same day response and they speak English well. So the 79 gets 2 tiny 4-inch speakers at the front and that's it. If you like your audio, this is not going to be enough, but they're pretty good for the size and I haven't had any issues. I might put some more speakers in the future, but you know what, it's not really important. So this is the Ultra Gauge OBD2 reader. I do really like this unit compared to your average scan gauge. It's a lot nicer to look at night. It automatically adjusts according to the ambience. It's reading my engine coolant, my boost pressure, RPM, my intake temps, my voltage, my run trip time. So everything I need, I had it in the Hilux as well, and I do recommend this unit over the scan gauge. So the 2-inch extension, it just brings the knob up to like a really nice height. Yeah, onto the comms. So this is the GME XRS 330C mounted up. The unit's mounted above the glove box and going to an RJ45 outlet next to this heater panel. Yeah, to be honest, I find the XRS function pretty useless, so I just use it like a standard radio. I think 80 channels, so yeah, it's a good one. I like it. So under the radio, tucked away, this is the Netgear Nighthawk M6 Pro, hooked up to that 5G antenna. Yeah, so far it's been really promising. It just gives me Wi-Fi and internet to all my devices. Like I said, still in testing, and I think it deserves its own video. Dash cam, usually I'm running the Blackview DR750X 2-channel plus. When it's working, it's good, but I've just set it off to warranty. The interface is really nice and the footage is excellent, so hoping to get that back. That's it for the front. Yeah, Toyota are really smart, you know, they know that when you get your hands on this vehicle, you're just going to go and change everything. So yeah, for those who are hating on this car, there's no real need. But if you want to, that's your choice, and I think it's a really good platform to start on. So that's it in the front. Onto the back. It's not really much to see here. Pretty standard for the back of the utility. For those who have kids, the 79 series doesn't have anchors, so I installed a multi-drive child restraint. It's a bar which runs across the back wall. It comes with 3 anchor points, and yeah, if you're wondering, this is the Maxi Cozy motor. Fits really nicely, but for this cab, you probably want something a little bit smaller. But you know, a full-size motor works just fine. Yeah, just like every 79, it comes optioned with an Akubra. This is my spot for the Akubra. But yeah, very basic cab. I've got my fishing bag always ready to go, and that's it for the cab. So on the back here, I opted for the beautiful Norwell Deluxe tray. Probably the biggest decision I've had to make so far with this build. It had to be an alloy tray, had to be from a local company, and proper heavy duty. So this is, the Norwell Deluxe. It weighs in at 233 Ks, which is not the lightest, but I reckon it's got to be the strongest on the market. Some stats for you: 10mm thick brackets, really beefy, 4mm thick one-piece floor, and 5mm thick tray sides. So one of my favorite things about this tray is the water outlet. It has a 50-litre tank, and I've always got water on demand. Yeah, got my soap there and the water outlet here. The filler is here with the breather nipple on the top, so it makes it easy to work from. You know, I pop my bag in the car, soap here, wash my hands, done. 1200 long trundle. I generally don't really keep anything in there. Got a fishing rod in there, you never know when the fish are biting, but huge storage. I only really use it when I'm away camping. Under tray boxes, the passenger side, I've generally got some tools. The other side is wet storage, so I have my shower stuff, my dirty shoes, that kind of thing. I've also added a bottle opener here for the beers, and I think I might add like a switch here for rear lights for when we're loading the trailer. Yeah, I just found a piece of alloy at home that I was practicing my welding on, and yeah, it just fits perfect. All Australian design and manufactured, and it has that mature yet rugged look, which I really like about it. You may recall I recently tore off this passenger side guard when I reversed up a bank. The tyre just gripped onto the guard, and that was the end of it. Literally the next Tuesday, Norwood shipped out a guard from Cairns, and Wednesday afternoon they fitted it up for me. So a huge shout out to Jono and the team at Norwood Sydney for the amazing customer service. I really can't thank them enough. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love this car. There is nothing that you really need to do to it. It is such a simple and capable platform which has so much potential. So coming from an auto Hilux, this is definitely a different type of beast. So one of the questions I'm always asked is, how is the power of the 79 compared to the Hilux? Now, it might surprise you, but in a straight line race, the Hilux would blow this thing away. You know, the Hilux had, it was a 4-cylinder, 1 kd, and that had way more grunt than this V8. But that's pretty much where it ends. Keeping in mind that this is an unopened 4.5 litre V8, this still has a lot more torque down low, and it doesn't need to rev out as much to make power. So I'm just remembering that although the Hilux felt like it performed better, I always had to monitor my EGTs and engine coolant temperature just to make sure it wouldn't cook itself. And that's what I really don't miss about the Hilux. The 79, I just hitched the trailer up and I'm on my way. Another common question I get about this is, how is the fuel consumption? Well, to be honest, the best I've ever gotten is 15 litres to 100, and that was coming back from Queensland, fully loaded. But when it's towing, it's a different story. When it's towing, it does about 20 litres to 100. Doesn't matter if it's on road, doesn't matter if it's on the highway, 20 litres to 100 kilometres. Now, putting in mind today's current diesel prices, I've calculated that it costs about $50 to tow a trailer about 100 kilometres. So I know a tune's gonna help, and it definitely will make a big difference to the car itself, but I just don't really need it at the moment. So off-road performance, I'll be happy to tell you guys the 79 performs better than the N70 and the N80 off-road. And please go back a few videos to a trip we went to out to Catherine Hill Bay. It's quite obvious. And this is just with a 2-inch lift and 34s. It is a very capable vehicle, especially with that front and rear locker. Where the manual performs a lot better, especially the manual in this 79, is the first gear gearing. So I have the ability to stick it into first gear low range, and using engine braking to lower the car down a steep section that you couldn't do in an auto. So where this manual really performs off-road is the ability to stick it into first gear low range, and with the gearing in the 79, it really gives you the ability to use engine braking to lower it down a steep hill that you couldn't do in the auto in the Hilux. A downside to the 79 off-road is the leaf pack, which sits below the axle compared to the Hilux, which sits above. So you can imagine if you add extra leaves to make it carry a bit more load, the leaf pack is actually going to hang quite a bit lower, and the only way around that is to increase your tyre size. The brakes, I feel, are quite average for a vehicle this size. To be honest, the Hilux actually braked a lot better than the 79, and I've actually had to do an emergency stop with a trailer in the back once. Now, I'm not sure why that's the case, but I know a few companies make a larger booster for this car, so that's something I think I'll need to check out. Like all other Toyotas, Toyota Utes, the handbrakes suck on them. They always need to be adjusted regularly. Literally, the second week after I got the car, I was having to pull the handbrake all the way up. And yeah, for the performance side, that's it. No real complaints. So on to the drivability and comfort side of things. Welcome to my lounge. But this is probably one of the most debated things about a 79. But I'll tell you the good things about it, and there are a lot of good things about it. So one of my favorite things about the 79 is the visibility you get over the bonnet. And that's just something you don't get in many cars at all. You just see so much more around you, and especially at the back where my son's sitting there, he can see everything out the window. So that's something he really likes. Onto something worth mentioning is the gearing. Now the manual box is actually quite a bit different to your standard manual gearbox. I find the gearing very, very short, especially first and second. The first thing I remember about driving this car out of the dealership, I genuinely thought that it was in low range. The gearing is that short. If you're anything like me, I like to skip gears when I drive. In other manual cars, I go from first to third to fifth, but in this car, you generally just can't do that. Another thing you will get used to is the turning circle. It is average, but I live in metropolitan Sydney and I've never had any issues. So another thing I love about the 79 is the air conditioning. This is literally the coldest air conditioning you can get in any car. And that's probably because it doesn't have insulation. You know, these cars are sent all over the world to the Middle East, Africa, and that's why they need such cold aircon. Something I really like about the aircon, I know we're talking about aircon a lot, is the ability to change the AC compressor input. So you can really fine tune your temperature, especially when the car's idling. Another thing is there's a vent which aims the AC directly at your crotch. So on the days, especially when we were at Morden Island, it was really, really nice. Now my only complaint with the comfort of this car is the wind noise, and it actually can get pretty full on, especially when you're on the highway with a crosswind. Now, I'll show you where the wind noise comes from, and I actually took a clip of this on the highway back from Queensland. The wind noise is coming from this seal here. You can almost feel the air coming out of here. I feel like it's not sealing, and it's actually not something which you can fix with sound deadening, because sound deadening would only cover the areas where there are panels. It won't actually fix the seal between the door and the frame. Now, I know some people have gone to Clark Rubber to get like a pinch weld type seal, but I'm not about to add another piece of rubber to a door which already doesn't seal very well. That's just something I think you need to accept as a 79 owner, and also something you need to take note of because it does contribute to driver fatigue. So if you're on the highway a lot, if you're doing long distances, it's something that would be worth a second thought. So that's it for the review side of the 79. I absolutely love this car, and no, it is not really good value for your money, but what you're really paying for is a proven and tested platform, something which has been tested for decades. And you know, when you start to see the 79 for what it is, a military spec utility and not a commercial day-to-day vehicle, that's when you can tell that Toyota absolutely killed it with this car. They made no mistake. It is very well built. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys know what my plans are. So after about a almost 5 month ownership, I'm very happy with it. You know, I don't think that there is anything which needs to be done. It doesn't need a whole lot of accessories. No, it's not going to be a game-changing 79 series build like every other build. I am planning on using parts which are tested and proven, and I'm also leaning on some of the experiences I've had from my previous builds. So anything from here onwards is, you know, a bit of fun, a bit of an experiment. My plan for this vehicle is to build a lightweight tourer to tow a boat or a caravan. We do really want to do a trip to Western Australia, and it'd be really nice to be able to send the car over there and fly over and just do a few weeks there. So I guess that's the goal. It has to be lightweight, something that I can just unhitch the caravan and just be able to throw it down the track and not be worried about being overloaded. Yeah, in terms of the canopy on the back, I'm literally just about to order this. Jono's spec'd me out. I'm going for a Norworld Compact Deluxe canopy, and I really need that dry and secure storage. Apart from that, just a few things. The side steps, I do need to upgrade these because, you know, it's really hard to get in and out of for my son and my wife. So I'm probably going to get the Clearview e-boards, and I also will be upgrading the mirrors. Now, the mirrors actually provide excellent visibility. They're really big. You can actually see the back of the boat with the mirrors on. But the problem is they actually stick out really far, and there's no way to adjust them while you're on the go. Last time I was out in Catherine Hill Bay, I actually hit a tree and the mirror went into the side of my guard and gave me this lovely dent. So I probably will be opting for something like the MSA or the Clearview mirrors, and that's about it. Well done if you got to the end of this video. It was a really long one, and I hope you guys enjoyed my 79 series review and rundown. If you liked it, please leave me a comment, please consider subscribing, and please go ahead and check out all the other content. I'll see you guys in the next video.